anybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, good morning, all the sheep of America. Get out of your dogma snuggies for freaking an hour. Let's have a conversation about the nuclear cartel mass murdering you. Your posture and groom fucked up media, right down to the local level. Talk a lot about today. There's a report coming out of TEPCO. There's a report, by the way, the only news you get anymore out of Japan, they've sealed this so tight. Somebody said to me, well, you've been saying we're going to get a nuclear meltdown in the United States. And I said, we probably already have. How would we know? Honestly, I want anybody to answer. How would we possibly know? Now, remember, there was one at San Onofre. 3 years ago. 3 years ago today, I was in the bone marrow transplant clinging to life. Very critical condition on this very day. I was looking through my journal. Oh, my God, what a horrible freaking day that was 3 years ago. But at the exact time I'm dying, San Onofre's having a leak. Leak. Fucking meltdown. How did the world find out? Oh, there were some insiders inside. They were leaking it to YouTube guys like me, sending me links, sending other people links, whistleblowers. By the way, the same whistleblowers inside of San Onofre were sending it to media, national media, and they spit at them, laughed at them. A nuclear meltdown with proof that they're freaking. Not only was they having an accident, they were cheating on the exchange to the tune of billions of dollars. Mitsubishi, with stimulus package money. That's another people don't realize. The stimulus, so-called stimulus package, and the banker bailout. Who got just as much over the bank? Probably more. The nuclear industry. I'm not kidding. So here it's going on. These guys were leaking it and telling people, and no one was listening. I was screaming my head off. I mean, I'm clinging to life, doing videos out of my bone marrow, trying to fight Blue Castle nuclear war they're trying to put on the Green River. Americans are insane. Let's get real about America. How pathetic is their populace? They're fucking insane. Their quality and their standard of living has been lowered for fucking 35 consecutive years now. From 1970, the quality of life, nominal wages have dropped 36 consecutive years now. 36. They don't care because they've bought into this same pay the dragon fare system. Look, in the feudals of Europe, a few hundred years ago, it was the same thesis. Oh, look, honey, you're going to marry a prince. You're going to be Cinderella. They got sold fairy tales. But at least, like, whatever. Not now. There's 370 million people. By the way, how many of them are in here so-called illegally, being paid cash? That annihilated the workforces of America, not the people that came in here, the people paying them cash. Look, there was no border. Why did all of a sudden start showing up in the 90s from Mexico in droves? Because they could. NAFTA displaced all them, too. Yeah, Del Monte moved into Mexico and gutted the farming industry. When they were getting $1 per tomato, they were selling it for 5 cents. NAFTA gutted their workforce just like it. And everybody says, oh, it's a new world order. No, it's old world order. You know, they broke it down. This is nothing more that's gone on. This is nothing more than the greatest redistribution of wealth to the so-called elites, which everyone thinks they're going to be an elite. Oh, I got a house. And a bunch of people came up with quite a bit. They think they're rich. Now, hear me out on this. They think they're rich. And how do they think they're rich? Their house. Oh, we bought a house in San Francisco. We bought a house in California. We got a residence. But the problem is they still owe the mortgage on the house. Yeah, they keep going into the equity like a credit card. Well, it's going to catch up. It's only a matter of time. Everybody says, oh, the market's not going to crash. You know, if I hear one more of these fuckers, I mean, these same doom criers have been telling the market's going to crash. The same people that told you silver was going to 200 when it was 45. Now, I turned $3,000 into $700,000. I'm going to talk about how I did that today, right? I mean, I'm going to write books about this. You know, God gives me the power and the strength, whatever God is, you know, the powers there be, let me live. So far I'm alive, less than a 1%. You know, the people that saved me, I'll write a lot about this. I proved, you know, is it Cassandra? Yes, I've been exactly Cassandra-like. Now, who's Cassandra? The you know, Greek mythologist, the female that refused to have sex with Apollo, the second most beautiful, and she was given a curse that she could see the future, but no one would believe her, and all her heirs for time and all eternity. Oh, boy. So I'm arguing with another bunch of idiot professors thinking about going back in the hedge fund, because I went out of it clear back in 2000. I left the hedge fund industry in 2000, 2001. I couldn't handle it, and the reasons was leukemia, you know, deaths. People very, very, very close to me. By the way, we had another one of our friends who was born and raised in the Ukraine past. I'm going to talk about that today, too. I'm going to talk a lot about the cover-up of Chernobyl and how it works. For instance, okay, you Google right now, life expectancy in the Belarus or life expectancy in the Ukraine. You're going to get 70.1 years old. That information is going to come right up on Google, which I find appalling because didn't Sin Brand, weren't they born and raised in Russia? But the thing is, that number is the World Health Organization number that everybody uses. We know about the World Health. They tell you that Chernobyl killed 4,400 people. The World Health Organization was hijacked in 1953 by the IAEA, the nuclear industry, the same time they hijacked the UN, the same time they hijacked the world, the same time they hijacked Congress. They got tricked. Congress got tricked. Oh, nuclear's magic. Well, you have to. I mean, Price-Anderson was passed, the Manhattan Project, thus, mine is the post-ignorance, opposite of the Manhattan Project. A lot of work? Oh, fuck yeah, it's going to take a lot of work. Too late? Yeah, I think it is too late in most theses. So, the life expectancy in that part of Russia is 52 years old. We know this. I've been doing a lot of work for this radio show yesterday, and I was digging through, and I've always hypothesized, I mean, what the Russians went through because of these greedy fucks. And everybody brings it on Stalin. I mean, the dynamic was set in place long before Stalin. No. You know, Nicholas and fucking the Tsars and the royal family, you know, the ones right there sitting in England, house where they're inbred cousins. Remember the famine they went through. The greatest famine, one of them in world history. 1917, I believe. You know, World War I's raging. That atrocity. Then, of course, World War II. How many men? They lost 28 million men. There were no fucking men left. Gutted the fucking thing. I mean, World War II, the Cold War builds up. You know, it was that fuckhead Churchill, who's one of the biggest frauds in world history, Winston Churchill. Everybody puts him out. He was an alcoholic, drunken piece of shit who worked for Scotland Yard, who loved to falsely accuse people. He had lots of people executed falsely. So, by the way, FDR learned his personality, and FDR learned to hate the fucking guy. You look at those videos where FDR and Stalin are having fun, and Churchill just going at it. Oppenheimer's own words, and Oppenheimer was right. Share the bomb with fucking Stalin and put this be to rest. Scare the emperor in freaking Japan. Not scare, but you already burned the whole place out. You know, there's one guy. All they ever had to do was kill the emperor. I mean, and let's make no mistake, they're the evil Japanese fucks that did this. Don't forget the Bataan Death Marches. Do not forget them. Do not forget those evil motherfuckers, what they did to these Americans. Do not kid yourself. Do not kid. Do not go into this, oh, those poor, now, yeah, the poor Japanese now, but, and the people. Because it was not the people's fault of Japan, just like it's not ours. They have a royal system in Japan that's even more elite than the feudal system. They had a feudal system that's gone on for centuries. Look what the Japanese did to, the royal family did to the Chinese over and over and over. I think it's irony that the media that we get now is coming out of China. That's where I'm getting my information now. Someplace you can find anything. So Chernobyl happens in 1986. Hold on, let these guys get this here. Sorry about that. It's so hard. As far as, but anyway, you know, they build up their nuclear cities, their secret cities. You know, I have a list of them. You know, they named the city, the city in Chernobyl. Let's talk about Chernobyl, the region. Chernobyl was wetlands. Some of the greatest wetlands on the face of this beautiful earth. Someone drained the wetlands and turned it into the Russian breadbasket. On the back of the famine. Come on, it was the logical thing to do. Huge, huge breadbasket that fed that populace. That's what they turned Chernobyl into before it was Chernobyl. Set up a city there. What they would do, that their nuclear program on their reactors, they would build, go into the middle of nowhere, build one, create a city. It was a very young city. Very young. You know, I think it was named after the river, and it was there in 1970. But really, the reactor was very young. Human error. It blew Gorbachev. You want to learn everything about it, watch The Battle for Chernobyl, which could be one of the greatest documentaries ever made. I still want to meet Ayla, who made that. I still think it's the greatest quote ever. In that movie, she says the greatest thing that came out of that melted down reactor here at Chernobyl was not cesium, was not plutonium, was lies. She said that before Fukushima happened. Now, I lectured for years and years and years and years and years. I was like a broken record, worse than I even am today, and that's hard. I mean, you know I'm a broken record, literally, on this. I'm relentless. I will not give up. I fear no evil. I will not. I am relentless on this. I have been my whole life. Of course, despite that I was born to set this right. Gorbachev says, hey, you know, we wanted into it. They drafted 500,000 men. Drafted. And in Russia, let's get real how they draft. They just come kick your door down. You know, kind of, you know, here they just impoverish you. You'll go join up and trick you. So, Russia, on the backs of the Cold War, well, not on the backs, the war, they won't share the bomb with Stalin. Biggest mistake maybe in human history. I believe that it is. I believe it is the biggest mistake. And the fear-mongering that Eugene McCarthy should have been hung. Eugene McCarthy, anybody that followed him and the creeps in Congress, and a guy named Teller. I'm going to go piss on Teller's grave. He made the decision to murder my father in the trenches, the draft and Marines, and give me leukemia before I was born. But we won't stand up in the U.S. We don't fight back. The outside guy says, oh, we got an army. You know, look how many deer hunters in the United States. Yeah, we're all gonna, yeah, you're all going to line up. Fuck. Yeah, we saw that in fucking Boston on fucking Paul Revere's when they declared martial law. Everybody crawled under their table. And what are you going to do with a fucking gun? We got a saying out west here, you're outgunned. They'll drop a gnat from outer space on you. You have to be changed within. The military coup of 2000, the only way you take it is the hearts and the minds. That's the only thing those losers would freaking... Remember when they used to quote that? We're going to win the hearts and the minds of Iraqis. Fuck you. Fucking... Why don't you fucking work on your own fucking rats you got right in your own fucking government? The military's full of rats. Full of rats. Not my uncle, the general. Retired general, lives in Alaska. That's his words. A bunch of fucking rats took the field. He'll say you write that right to his face. He's alive and well. I'll get him on a show one day. But you meet this guy. Oh, holy fuck. He's in his 80s. You think I'm intense. Oh, my God. Full of rats. So they won't share the bomb. Oppenheimer says, let's drop a scare bomb. Just scare him. Let's kill the emperor. Kill the emperor, take the family out. Won't do it. Burning every village. Burning them all. Drop one. Then they drop another, thinking about dropping the third. Emperor still wouldn't fucking give up after they didn't give a fuck. That's how royals work. That's how they lead. So, Japan is colonialized. And I hear all this, oh, Japan's officially going in recession. Are you fuckers that stupid? I mean, people posting this shit, this regurgitating, they know nothing about finance. They know nothing about economics. Japan's been in freaking decline since 1986. They tried to, America went over there, freaking build it up, and tried to hype it up into their new place like it was here. You know, their island. The Nikkei peaked in 1986. There we go. That year again. At 35,000. 35,000 in 1986. How many years later? They've been in free fall for decades over there. They annihilated that culture. The war machine, the nuclear machine, the American freaking concept of fucking growth economy. I'll quote Edward Abbey. Growth for the sake of growth is the ideology of cancer cells. He was a genius. I knew him personally. That place has been annihilated for a long time by the fucking, this growth economy, this electronic economy, this freaking thing. Well, the robots will save us at Fukushima. Secret freaking Moxie fuel program over there. Oh, fuck, please. Come on. There ain't even nothing secret about it. I was talking about it for years before Fukushima happened. I did thousands of lectures. What's going to happen, Kevin? It's going to happen on the coast of Japan. Or it's going to happen at Diablo Canyon or San Onofre. Logic. Earthquakes. Think about it. Building a nuclear reactor there in 1984 and naming it the devil. They're sociopaths. Sick. Run out of Berkeley, Livermore. They are sick, paranoid, schizophrenic sociopaths. You know how fucking schizophrenic, paranoid fucking Lawrence was? He was a fucking mental case. Completely insane. Paranoid freak. Teller. Paranoid fucking hair-daring freak. You know, gone. These people are paranoid, insane people. That's what is at Lawrence Livermore. A year ago I was there. They're insane people. Cal Berkeley's full of insane, mentally ill, psychotic, nutcase people, including Michael Savage. You know, all these fucking co-op fuckers are coming out, including fucking, what's that crazy bitch's Kurt Cobain's girlfriend's mom and dad. You know, they all come from there. Fucking, they're insane. They're paranoid, afraid of their own shadow. Boo. I mean, they are sick. It is a mental ill sickness, and it's fear and cowardice. The cowards of this country have allowed it to happen. The Eugene McCarthy thesis has gone on. They're for ISIS, really? Oh my God, it's so insane. The country's ruined. The country's gone. Completely gone. They say, oh, you know, they'll all attack. They attack them within. It's a psychology. It's a philosophy. Now think about it. So Russia, they go in because he won't share the bomb. So we're testing in the Nevada test site. 350 open air. We're over 1,000. By the way, everybody says, oh, they quit him in 93. No, they didn't. Look it up. You don't believe me. Right after Marie Antoinette let them eat yellow cake, the greatest Republican in American history, the greatest neoconservative freaking giveaway to the freaking insurance companies, giveaway to fucking Wall Street, give the country away, ever Republican white guy from freaking Hawaii, raised by bank examiners in Hawaii, mom from freaking middle freaking Kansas, died of freaking downwinder who died, who he doesn't care. Just like, but none of them care. Mike Lee doesn't care. His dad died younger. They don't care. They're sick fuckers. Yeah, Marie Antoinette let them yellocate, the greatest neoconservative, Republican, far-right, paranoid, afraid fucker in human history. He passed Bill Walmart Clinton, who was the second greatest Republican in history, Bill Walmart Clinton. He passed him. He's passed him. Lock, stock, barrel. Right after he got elected the second time, they did an underground bomb secretly. You look it up. You don't believe me. By the way, try to Google on the life expectancy in Chernobyl and the Belarus and Ukraine. Try it. You go through hell. Try to find out about the freaking nuclear reactors in the Ukraine, how many of them are there. Try to find out when the rebels took it just here on the 100th anniversary of World War I. Look it up. They'll block you. Google themselves, who grew up in Russia, so many of their own families. Google Branson, so many of their own family died from that monster, and they don't care. Because that's what the psychology in America, lottery America. You hit the big time in the lottery, you're in, last one in, shut the fucking door. That's what we are here. Lottery America. We're the lottery. So, the game is played. So, Sokolov ends up being one of the greatest peace and civil rights activists in human history. Andrei Sakharov, a Russian. And he won his Nobel Prize legitimately. Not for being anti-bomb, but for being anti-bomb, because he knew it was the top of the heap. Now think about this. This is the guy who built the biggest nuclear bomb in human history. The Tsar bomb. 100 megaton. Don't want to share it? Don't want to do it? Watch this. Oh, you guys are going to sit and do your test out in Nevada. You're going to sit and do your bombs out in Nevada over and over and over. You're going to do your bombs in Nevada. Oh, you don't want to compete us? Watch this. It got recorded as an earthquake in the United States, 1961. Finally, the Swedes, they're like, oh, my God, we're detecting freaking all kinds. That's back when before the United States hijacked even Sweden and tore down all the IAEA internationally they control all the radiation detection devices around the world. They control them all. They crash them all over the world. But anyway, they record it and start picking it up, and they're like, what the fuck? I thought it was a massive earthquake in Siberia. Oh, it was the Tsar bomb. So Russia's like, oh yeah, watch this, fucker. So they go all in nuclear. All in nuclear. They build up their military, fighting the Cold War. Every piece of resource, every great person, human resource and natural resource go to the war. Much more than the United States, exactly what the United States is doing now. Russia is gutted. Russia is annihilated. Go over there. Go to Belarus. Go to Ukraine. Look what they did. Life expectancy 51 years old. They drink too much. Fuck you. Like have been around for thousands of years. They're radiated. I mean, you go there. There are nuclear radiation dump sites just everywhere. It's annihilated. The nuclear fallout that exists in Russia. And then Europe wonders why they got so much cancer. And then France will tell you, oh, Chernobyl killed no one. When right across the river, Germany will kill you. It says 17,000 a year. So it's all lies. The United States is doing the exact same thing now. 262 nuclear waste dump sites have built up here. They're everywhere and everything. Sorry about all the noise. It's outrageous. So now we have 262 nuclear waste dump sites in the United States. 262. That's the NRC coming up with it. And I will give the NRC one break. You know, and this is coming right from the NRC. I sit in the bar and drank with them and talked to them after the meeting, after I went on my rant on them. They're like, look, Kevin, the American populace is so fucked up. The NRC was never set up to handle nuclear waste. Never. Yet we get it thrown in our laps because Yucca Mountain was passed. And I like how people say, oh, we don't get it. You know, Congress passed some. I don't agree with freaking most of what Congress has done over the last 30, 40 years either. But that's the law. Congress passed Yucca Mountain. People say, oh, that's some bullshit. Bull fucking shit. It's passed. I don't agree with it either. But that's the law. Why is it not there? Political football, because they backdoored the Constitution in every way through the war machine. So we're going right down the road that Russia went down. Right down the exact same road. We're walking. Look it up. People say 63 cents on the dollar cent on the war machine in the United States. And this has all happened in the last 15 years. Blown up as far as the military spending out of hand. The Patriot Act, backdoor the Patriot Act's illegal, and I can tell you why it's illegal. It takes 2/3 majority in both houses to pass an amendment of the Constitution. Patriot Act is even bigger than an amendment of the Constitution. So they didn't get 2/3. They would have never got 2/3. The legitimate Congress, you know, people agree and everybody says the same thing. They say the same thing over and over and over. We no longer have a government that represents our people. Patriot Act, mission accomplished. We're turning America into American toxic. No, we have turned it into American toxic. We have a major, major cancer epidemic in this country. Major. Now, look it up. The CDC, the liars themselves, will tell you that 85% of women under the age of 40 will experience cancer in their life. Oh, we'll just smoke some weed. It's so heartbreaking. I watch so many young people freaking die of cancer every day here. You know, I'm head of the support group. It's over and over and over and over and over and over. In the pride of their lives and crippling healthy. You know, same thing with the Russian girls. It affects girls harder than men. Bone density. Yet girls outlive men. Fight like a girl. Why? Because the men kill themselves. You get the diagnosis like I got diagnosed, guys go home and kill themselves. You know, going through what I went through, that's a heavy choice to make. A heavy, and they'll even talk to you about it. Do you understand what you're ready about to embark on? This is the greatest Hail Mary in all of medicine, what you're about to embark on. Are you willing to fucking do it? And not only that, they will measure your body, your mental capacity. They'll, the doctor, he'll evaluate you. Vincent knew me. He says, Kevin, you're one of the few guys, and I wouldn't say this about hardly anyone with the disease you have, because you've got one horrible cancer in your guts. But you're so mentally fucking tough, and you're so physically tough, that I think maybe you can survive this. He actually said, I think there's a possibility that you can be cured. And Dr. Anakar, because he knew me. And because I had the Hawking trauma I had for 35 years. Just a few days before I got it, I rattled off 112 push-ups without stopping. I'm physically very strong, always have been. Part of being a mutated baby by the runt from my father. And I'm mentally strong. If you haven't noticed from my YouTube site, I am relentless. I fear no evil. I never have. But now, I have to be that. We have to be that. It's our only hope. They're not going to find no cure for cancer. They don't want a fucking cure for cancer. God forbid, Huntsman and Strips and their big hotels. Cash cows from hell. Everybody in the United States will end up either being a nurse, they're either going to be changing bedpans or getting their bedpan changed. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed as the baby boomer. And think about these 270 million structures that are built. There's 270 million structures, about 150 million more than we need. Just think about, you're going to get in the future, you're going to get marauding packs of youth, and they're going to laugh. The country will go on. It's not going to collapse, and the stock market ain't collapsing. The stock market's making all-time highs. All-time highs. Let's talk about this. Let's go into this. This is how ignorant. I was thinking about going back in the hedge fund. I left it in 99, 2000. Went through all kinds of shit. A lot of death, divorce, just said, fuck it. I'd had enough. I threw my hands up. Fuck it. Went into really, my lifestyle, after my divorce, after, Annika passed away from leukemia, my dad's death from leukemia, divorce, all of it. It's living in this fucked up repressive community. I was a multi-millionaire. Now steps up, hammer it down. I just snapped. And I went, the lifestyle that I lived after that, I wouldn't trade it in. I liked it. I went through so many females. Oh, my God. Wow. I was a war protester. I got scars all over me from nightsticks and whatever. I stood up against the war machine, and I fought. I was fucking so angry, but I channeled my anger in a good way. I look back, I wouldn't take it back. Was involved with some amazing females who I still really freaking, and they were, a lot of them that were so great that I still look at them, and, they still freaking love me. I talk to these girls and they'll come up to me. I'm like, no, stay away from me. Stay away from me. You gave me leukemia. That's another thing I want to talk about, too, about the surviving leukemia. They call it erotica. I work with some good people, and they want to touch on your body. It's very important if you have these cancers, right, who's touching you, who you're talking to. That touch of another person on your body or another human, whether it be a massage therapist, sexual partner, your mate, your lover, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband. It's very important that, because I've watched it. If you have an enabler, as I call them, I hate to say this, but Carla's husband was a hardcore enabler. I've seen a lot of. Don't be that. Don't be the enabler, doing everything for him, baby, and the cancer victim. Don't be. And if you are a cancer victim, don't be the victim. You're the victim, but don't be it. Fight. I fought. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not taking third. I don't want anybody fucking around me. And then I ended up getting a couple really incredible young massage therapists that would do fingertip massages on me and touching with a strange touch, and they, for the right reasons, and physically, because that aura and that energy is released from their body into you. If they love you and care about you in a really healthy, strong way, that energy will turn those cells on to fight back the killer cells, the free radicals. You got to kill those free radicals, and they're vicious, evil motherfuckers. So, in 2010, I started my YouTube site experimenting, arguing with a couple of finance professors about language. I'm like, I read what the Supreme Court said. You can say whatever you want. They're like, no, blah, 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 you can't talk. Watch me. And anyway, so I was getting ready, and by the way, I'm deadly on the markets. Always have been. When I was on Wall Street, my boss said, "I never seen anything like you." I started trading cattle futures at 14 years old in the cattle future pits in cash. At 14, read the last chapter of East of Eden. I used to do that all the time. I've done it my whole life. When I was on Wall Street, my boss says, "I never seen anything like you. You are." He used to call me Cassandra. Yeah, and I was wild. Oh yeah. I mean, oh boy, I look back on it. I was young, and you know how we us young males are. Good Lord. We get sexually motivated. We get in la-la-ville. I say it all the time. Young males shouldn't even go into college till they're 35 because all they're doing is chasing girls. And who ends up running the country? The douchebags that aren't chasing girls. So Kurt Vonnegut, you ever wake up one morning and see those douchebags that run for student body office in high school or run around the country? I love that quote. He was great, by the way. So I says, okay, I'm going to take some chump change. I rounded up because I went broke in that 10-year period. It's a long, complicated thing. Divorce, told Wall Street to fuck off. It was the death. I didn't care anymore. I didn't give a fuck, and I was busy fighting, raising my children. And I stayed very close to my daughters, very close, and I raised them beautifully, and they turned out to be amazing young women, all of them. They're incredible young women, really grounded, amazing. So I says, okay, so I take $3,000. First trade I make. Silver is a 47. Everybody's geeked up hype on silver. I says, and there's a YouTube video. I'll post these in chronological order how I did this. I'm on the bus. I know this crazy-ass female. By the way, my friend Fred, who I love Fred so much, died of the exact same cancer as me. 2 years earlier, got in the same light rail Cherry. He worked for the railroad. They told him that it was just a slow growth, just like they told me, and it reared back up on him and mowed him down in the front. Well, he was married to this most insane, neocon, nuttiest female. I can't believe he married this whack. She was so whack that she sent out invitations to his funeral by invitations only and told me I couldn't go. I told her, fuck you. Fuck. Who the fuck do these people think they are? But anyway, her brother-in-law, I run in, he's a bus driver. He's Kev, we're talking. He says, you got to get some silver and some gun. What? What are you talking about? Her sister told me. I says, you people fucking insane. Do you know where silvers came from? I said, I knew that was the day. So I went in and I bought the triple leverage. You can buy triple leverage ETFs on the down. ETFs, that's another fucking trading instrument that Wall Street turned into a casino, and the computers are trading it. So I bought the triple leverage at 47. Okay, that was the first trade. You can watch these on video. Played that. And then here comes 2010. I'm buying Apple the whole time, the derivative on Apple. Out of the money options on Apple. I won't buy the fucking stock. Fuck those fuckers. They're making so much money, so I'm riding this thing all the way up. Popping options in and out. We get to the summer of 2011, and I do a video the day gold hits 1900. I'm like, this thing's insane. Get out of gold. And my friend, who's an Irish guy, crazy drunken fucker, I'm like, you drunk fucker, get out of your fucking gold and buy Apple and Tesla. There's plenty of kids there's a group of kids that are watching my videos at Berkeley. There's some finance professors at Berkeley that are playing my videos. One of the professors called me and says, Kevin, these kids even have a drinking game over you. Your finance mind is genius. And I said, well, I taught at the #1 school of finance in the fucking world right here at Weber State when Clyde Cooley was there. Now we don't even make the 301, and I'm booted out of there, They got rid of it because it's a cash cow. They've hijacked academia, too. By the way, Clyde died of fucking mad cow. The Stericycle gave it to him and killed him. So a bunch of young kids come to me, and they're like, well, Kevin, what should we buy? You got to buy gold. And Kramer, everybody's saying the market's meltdown. I'm doing videos every morning. This is the greatest opportunity. A lot of kids are in the hedge fund industry for my classes. They're watching. I'm like, double down. You will never get an opportunity. This is 2011 in August. The markets are melting down again. They're 95 on. I'm like, double down. The fundamentals are strong as fuck. They're paying no taxes. They use slave for employees. Double down. Go all in. Go all in. So they're like, what should we buy? And I'm like, buy Tesla. Sell your gold, buy Tesla. Tesla 16, 15, 14, 18. Some of them did it. I turned some young guys, went borrowed some money from their grandpa. I talked to them. I'm like, send me a tip, you little fuckers. I turned them into millionaires. I think one of them still owns his Tesla stock. What is it, 253 today? But anyway, and the reason was not just because of the multiple and, you know, the fundamentals. I'm a fundamentalist. I'm not. I don't believe in technicians. I think they're a joke. Technical analysis, I think, is a joke. So there's video to prove this. I do a video, the greatest options call in my life. Apple's meltdown is 260. I said, buy the April 480 calls. They were $30 a piece. I mean, that's a long ways out of the money. April, buy them. I bought a lot of them. Bought Tesla, but you know, this whole time I'm trading, and I'm making a lot of money. I got it up to about 700,000 the day I get sick. October 13, 2011. I'm like, oh my God. And when I got sick through that month, in order to get into the hospital and through I was going lengths, I knew I had to fucking unload every dime I had. So I sold everything I had. Just under 700,000. I had a huge port. The options that I own on Apple, and I own 4,400 shares of just Tesla alone. But out of the money, I'm sitting there while I'm dying in the hospital. Exactly 3 years ago, I'm watching this fucking Apple take off. These things went to the money, $120. Anybody's trade options, they know what that means. $12,000 a piece from $30. Oh my God! Yeah, I'm sitting there watching. You know, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5. You know, granted, I would have got at them. I wouldn't have rolled them for up to 8 million. So this spring, I'm like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to set up my hedge fund. I've been wanting to do this my whole life, and I'm still doing it, you know, but I need a major investor to step up. And you've heard my videos talking about this. And we need to do this properly, legally, you know, get it all set up right. So I started working my attorney, getting it all set up. I named it Blanch, got it going. When Apple was getting ready to split, I'm like, we'll just go on all in Apple. Again, it's even going to go higher. By the way, it's $114 today, pre-split adjusted. The day that I started telling you, you know, dive back into it again was, I believe, at 68. I'm doing YouTube videos. I guess the people start calling me. Kevin, I get a guy from Canada calls up, says he's a millionaire. So he's dying. So he's got $500,000. Wants to do it. I'm very skeptical. He's calling me every day. Every day. Emailing me every day. I'm very skeptical about the whole situation. So he's got $250,000 in gold, and I'm like, well, get out of the fucking gold. Gold's going south. And by the way, Max Kaiser, the day that he guaranteed gold on episode 496, look at that, the douchebag guarantee. And this DOS and all these freaks out guaranteeing the price of silver. You know what silver is right now? Do you guys have any clue? These guys are telling you hammer and silver, Max Kaiser, Alex Jones. I mean, do you realize how bad you guys all got fucked? And same with gold. Why the stock market's making all-time highs. And everybody says, well, I'm not going to participate in a game that's rigged. The most rigged markets in the history of mankind are gold. You think the stock market's rigged? Are you? Don't you love it? I mean, it's a shiny metal that comes out of the ground that the queen owns all the mines. And it's like diamonds, De Beers, Rhodes Scholar, Rhodesia, the pedophile. And don't you love it, BP? Don't you love it how all these guys are pedophiles? By the way, I'll tell you this story real quick, and then we'll carry on with this. When I was in New York on Wall Street, my friend was an oil analyst, and everybody knew how I was on Wall Street. I was so fucking intense and wild, but I was so good at what I did. And I got invited to the oil analyst, Lord Brown from British Petroleum, is speaking. Oh, I knew all about that creepy piece of shit. So my friend Ryan says, you want to go with? I got you a VIP pass for the Q&A. Yeah, my boss says, no way, no way. And I said, bullshit, fuck you. So we go. Ryan knew how I play, and he says, get your hand up, get your hand up. And if they call me, I'm going right to you. My boss says, don't do it, don't do it. I'm the first question up in the Q&A, right in the front row. I stand up. This is Lord Brown, he called him. I said, Bill or Bob or Fred or whatever the fuck your name is, where do you get off coming to the United States calling yourself Lord? Didn't we throw you royal fucks the fuck out of here in 1776? You annihilate the Gulf, you fucking eco-terrorist. And I went on a rant. And by the way, you know why he had to leave. You know, I thought I'd get fired for it. My boss loved it. Fuck, he handed me a big fucking envelope of $100 bills, so that's the greatest thing I ever fucking heard. He was awesome, my old boss, the old Wall Street. He was an American. He loved the American. He hated the world just like me. He got it. He's dead and gone. Long gone. He's an old-timer. He's the one that told me when Bush got re-elected, he said, Wall Street's over, get out. He's one of the reasons I left. He said, go back to teaching, Kevin. Go back to the university and do what you did. He said, these corrupt motherfuckers. He says, these Wall Street wolves are going to take advantage. You got a moron in the White House, these fuckers are going to eat his ass. Which they did. He called it. So, Lord Brown had to step down from BP for having sex with teenage and even under teenage boys. That's right, look it up. Look it up. They're pedophiles. Always have been. They're creepiest people on. So we love Kate. She's got a new baby coming. Look at the Royals. We leave them standing. So back to the trading. So he comes to me. I fly to Canada. $250,000 is the deal. That's what it takes. I got my attorney setting it all up, paying attorney fees out the yin yang, getting things set up, the hedge fund all properly set up. Writes me a check for $10,000. I told Thomas Ackerman right there that day when we left, I says, I've been had. You know, claiming he's got $500,000 in gold, you know, stored away in a vault or whatever. Huh. Well, I knew it right then. I knew it. I knew it before I went. Door fell off the plane, got trapped in the Calgary airport 12 fucking hours. Here we go again. Well, I'll make the most of the investment, what I got. So, you know, I invested all of it. You know, still have it. Got the Apple fucking calls, but, you know, they don't vest until fucking end of January. They're doing pretty good. We'll see how it goes the next few days. But my Cassandra, it's been staggering. It's impossible to do what I've been able to do. Not just with Fukushima, but cancer taught me something I already knew. You know, I walked away from $1 million a year job. I've had fucking plenty of money in my life before, up and down. I don't give a fuck about money. I really don't give a fuck. Never have. I understand what wealth is. It has nothing to do with fucking money. You know, I like the landscape. I like the environment. I'm an environmentalist, always have been. That's who I am. With my cancer and telling the tale of Fukushima, you go back in time on the accuracy on Fukushima, it is staggering. I look back on, oh my God. And to tell the truth and to be exactly accurate as things unfold, you will always get pushed back on. And history has proven that to us over and over and over and over. People don't want the truth. They can't handle the truth. It just breaks down their dogma. It breaks down their stereotypes. It breaks down everything in their fucking head. They cannot handle it. Americans cannot handle the truth. They don't want it. And think about it. Why would they want anything to do with truth? Because their whole life's a lie. It's a giant lie. They got a facade built up. Yeah, we're going to be a royal. They're working 65 hours a week. The food chain is annihilated. Their brains are mush. The nitrates in the beef, the dairy. By the way, if you want to get healthy, get off all dairy. Get off. The milk subsidy that's on dairy milk and forecast, dairy is the most obscene, grotesque thing, and that's multiple people, and I've learned this. You know, I never liked it anyway. But, you know, we all like cheese. It's hard to give up cheese. The number one food consumption that's increased in the United States over the last 30 years is mozzarella cheese. Why? Shitty pizza, and it's not even cheese because everybody's overworked, so they grab a pizza. And, you know, by the way, that little Papa John rat, I want to fight that guy so fucking bad. I would like to knock his fucking teeth out of his head. I can't afford to get my employees if I can intend this. Talk about an overcompensation. I bet you that kid used to get beat up daily in junior high and high school. That's all these are. They're overgrown children who never grew up. That's all they are. That's all any of them. Overcompensation, miserable fucks. It's like on Glenn Beck now. He says he's sick again. Well, you know that's a scam. The Mormons found him in the gutter. You know, he's a meth addict, drug addict, just like freaking cocaine addict, just like George W. Bush. They always Cheech and Chong. I used to be all messed up. I used to be all fucked up on the fucking dope. Now I'm all fucked up on the Lord. That's what they are. So now he's done this several times before. He's insane. He's a fucking dope fiend, insane. Cleaned up. So he says he's sick again. Well, you know what that is. Because he's back on the dope. That's what they do. They fake sicknesses. You know, let's start the dope dealers. When I'm sitting in the middle of fucking Washington, D.C. when we got shut down, I'm like, the new dope dealers, you know, because that was the referendum in D.C. Everybody voting on marijuana. I'm like, fuck, go to the real dope dealers. Fuck, they'll give you anything you want at fucking Walgreens 24-hour fucking pharmacy. Fuck, there's doctor shoppers. These doctors write prescriptions by the thousands. Here I've got ammo leukemia. Hardcore. I haven't been on one single drug, not even an aspirin, 200 years. By the way, and I even got a fucked up gallbladder. I've been able to handle that through diet. You know, it's true that the food chain, you clean up your diet, you clean up your brain and your soul and your spirit, but you have to walk also. Walking is a big part of it, not just because of the physical exercise, but because of the physical exercise, because it slows down your mind, and it's the walking meditation. You know, and you get a look at the landscape and the birds and the animals. By the way, you know, think about them just slaughtering all the animals across this country, and by land and by sea. I mean, it's outrageous. You know, there's going to be no animals left soon. None. They're fucking annihilating them. There's none left. And in the ocean, too, it's just like the Pacific Ocean. So, oh, it's not dying. Oh, please. Talk to any marine biologist. Talk to anybody down there. I mean, I've been down California. I've walked that beach fucking... I've been at every pier, every port, every freaking thing. I've protested from Scripps to Monterey on all of them. They all agree with me that the ocean's dying. They know it. They'll tell you we know it. You know, look at the freaking seals at Monterey. You know, they know it. But then they'll argue why. You know, and they make a good point on a lot of ways. But I'm like, they're in denial about Fukushima. Yeah, the toxins pouring into it. Now, remember this, the cruise lines have moved back into California. How'd they bait them back into San Francisco? Which I've been there on the pier and in Long Beach and, you know, in Southern Cal. How did they bait them back? Because the cruise industry says we won't come back unless we're allowed to dump our waste into the fucking ocean and the harbors as we come in. California's always said, no way, no fucking way. They said, okay. Now think about it. The triathletes are all down. You go to San Francisco Bay and watch the triathletes that train there every day, all day. They actually swim in that fucking cesspool. Then they come here to Moab, Utah. By the way, in our bone marrow transplant, I cannot overstate this. Our bone marrow transplant unit at the top of the LDS, with the Mormon Church owns none. It's the #1 bone marrow transplant unit in the world. They take the hardest of the heart. Okay, here's in Utah, 3 million people. Out of the 3 million, 2.4, 2.5 live right here on the Wasatch, where I live. Oh, I don't live on the Wasatch. I live out by the lake, but near the Wasatch. Southern Utah is a massive stretch of real estate. It's wide open. Anybody who drove through, they know it. There's only 400,000, which is the cancer capital of the world, is Southern Utah, and, of course, the Belarus and Ukraine. You go in our unit, it's all Southern Utah. You know, and I go off on the daughters. Why are we not talking about this? The half-life plutonium 24. So you go into Moab, tourism economy. You go to see the national parks. You move there to train. Oh, it's a cool place. By the way, Dirty Herbie is so insane. Mike Lee's so insane. Their fucking family members dying. So young or cancer, they want to build a nuclear reactor on the Green River. I tell them, why not put a fucking statue of Ted Bundy on I-15? You know, the mass murderer here. You know, a monument to all those people's dead relatives. Yet they're so, you know, hey, I got this new job. I'm going to build a factory that is cyanide. And every person who goes to work at that factory will die at 46 years old. Okay? But it'll give you jobs. I'm here to tell you, and guarantee you, America would fucking go for it. That's how indoctrinated, insane they are. They are insane. America is an insane populace. Gone. Well, first chance I get, and I planned on this, I'm moving the fuck out of here. I've come to that conclusion. There's no saving. I'm moving to Europe. I'm going to go home to Denmark. That was my plan before I got fucking cancer. Our bloodlines come from there anyway. You know, and so I'm working on it. Is it hopeless here? Yes. Yes. Baby boomers fucking tell they're all dead. But as an individual, it's not. You can live your life in a strong way. You know, as I said in Wall Street, you have to be the leader. You have to lead yourself. You have to be your community, you know. Yeah, you go to Walmart, you wear your fucking clothing, you buy your shitty food, you can say, and then, you know, people are claiming they're human rights activists. It's like Richard Spillman, who the activist, he used the word in this thing. I told him, you phony fraud. I told him, you're nothing but a fucking tea-bigger and drag, hypocrite fucker. I'm so sick of the fucking hypocrites I can puke. Using the word human rights 100 times in an hour, he said it, over 100 times. While he's talking and selling shirts made in Haiti. You know, if you're going to be it, be it. You know, in an individual in your circle, you can live it. But don't pick and choose. We know right and wrong. Execute 240 women a day in China. You know, the nuclear industry. I'm here to tell you, and I will guarantee this. And I don't ever guarantee anything. Cancer rates in the United States are going crazy post-Fukushima. Fukushima hammered us. You know, all they'll talk about is cure cancer, cure cancer. They will not talk about the causation of cancer. We are going to get a major nuclear meltdown in this fucking country, and that's just logic. My guess it'll happen in San Onofre Diablo, but it could happen in anyhow. And it's going to fucking devastate. It's going to turn the United States into look, we're going down the same path. We're walking the same ugly plank. Put all your human and natural resources to the military to make a few fucking military oligarchs rich. You know, Lockheed, Martin, fucking Bechtel. I mean, gutted. Why and they're killing themselves. It's worthless. You suck all the natural resources, all the human resources into that vacuum. That's what we've done. Russia did the same thing. Look what happened to fucking Russia. I mean, they just, now, granted, there's still fucking Putin and his fucking oligarchy that fucking robs every natural resource, because they have a lot of natural resources. What do you think the Afghan war was? To get that fucking pipeline from the Caspian Sea to port. That's all the Afghanistan war was. That's all. Bin Laden had nothing to do with 9/11. Nothing. Nothing. Zero. I love that quantum leap. Muhammad Atta cooked it up in a dorm room in fucking Hamburg, Germany, which, by the way, I saw the 9/11 terrorists in the flesh before it happened, in Wendover. And I used to tell people, I got in a fight with them playing blackjack in 2000. What are Arabs doing out here in the middle of nowhere on the edge of the lake? They don't want, they were out there policemen. They were the biggest pricks I ever met. Got in an argument. And I used to tell people, when I saw the pictures, it was some of them. Now we know in factual detail it really was them. And maybe these little guys crazy. It really was them. They drove from San Diego, they went to Vegas, and they went up Highway 50, you know, and they stayed in Wendover. We know that for facts now. And people looked at me like I was insane. You know, so they cooked it up in a fucking dorm room, and it wasn't new. Look it up, look it up. 1969, 1970. 30-something hijackies in the United States. All of them Middle Eastern terrorists threatening to fly airplanes into nuclear reactors. Now, even Tom Clancy's book wasn't creative. This thesis, what they were going to do, has been kicking around for 30, 40 years. I was like, oh, they hate Americans. Really? Saudi Arabia was taken over by the Saudi family, by what is British Petroleum now today. We park a military base right there. The most repressive regime on that fucking history of mankind is the Saudi regime. Step out of line there, they kill you. I love the freaking say the Saudi prince, his father, the Saudi prince's grandfather rode a camel. The Saudi prince's father drove a Rolls Royce. The Saudi prince flies a Learjet. His son will ride a camel. As soon as that fucking oil's gone, the American fucking base is gone. They're Saudis. Do you think they like being fucking repressed over there? Are you kidding? Suicide rate the highest in the fucking world. The Saudi family took it over. Oh, Prescott Bush was heavily involved. Oh, fucking A. Prince Bandar. Look up Prince Bandar. What did the Bushes call him? Brother Bandar. All the Saudis flown out of the United States. By the way, Fahrenheit 11 is one historical, incredible document, even though I cannot stand that fucking Boajello phony piece of shit fraud fucker. But he was great. When he made Fahrenheit 11, I'll give credit where credit is. Masterpiece. So is Roger and me. Master. Well, he's, you know, look, if you're an activist and you don't take care of your physicality, that's a big piece of this. We have to match physically, mentally, spiritually, and all much matched equally. Why? That's the way it has to be. All great activists have to know it because you have to be strong. To be an activist, you have to be incredibly strong. Thick skin, be able to take these monsters on, you're going to be under attack. I mean, you got a guy with no teeth in a freaking basement doing screenshots trying to attack me. I mean, they got nothing. The populace cannot see. They never could see. But they're worse. They're hypnotized. They're gone. The box hypnotized. Anybody, think about it. You sit around and watch Fox News. By the way, Rupert Murdoch's own words. I hate America. I hate the American system. My whole goal was to take over the American system. Put it back to the royal system. And he just proved that one man can change the world. He changed the world. Rupert Murdoch. By the way, the rules of Fox News, you have to hate America. That makes sense. We protest there. We protest in New York City, and all the media's right there. And you know none of the Fox superstars can even go into a restaurant or walk down the street. You got to see the way they come out of there. They come out of there in freaking tinted glass window with their private security is heavy. The rest of them, ABC, NBC, all of them, you can walk right up. No one cares. They're all right there. Our Fox. When I protested there, that's the only place we got shit with our PU is greater than GE. We protested all over in CNBC. The only place we had troubles was with Fox with their private security. And New York City come and saved us, please. Told the private security to go fuck themselves because we were on the sidewalks. We do it legal. To work at Fox News, you have to sign an oath that you absolutely hate America's fucking guts and you want fucking the Queen to completely take it. I mean, really. And these are Rupert Murdoch's fucking words. And they are abused children. Sean Hannity admits it. Freaking Glenn Beck admits it. They were hardcore abusive children, which creates this fucking hate inside subconscious. These people hate America. They're the hardcore racist. Think about it. Their analyst they go to on Ferguson is Mark Furman every time. You know what kind of hardcore racist, evil fucking piece of shit that is? Lives in Sandpoint, Idaho. All the same place Palin's parents came from. Sarah Palin was born and raised in Idaho. You know, these are freaking hardcore, abused children, racist, ugly. Hey, I mean, Fox News set this country, ruined it. It was, and you got to give it to Rupert, give it to the guy, and you got to give it to that gold-digging Chinese whore that freaking captured him. By the way, you know who she was having an affair with when he divorced her, but she was smart enough because there was a clause. The older children had a clause, and all. She's not going to hand on Nicole Smith, our dad. She was smart enough for her and get a couple kids. I'm sure it was artificial insemination that she had to use. She was having an affair with Tony Blair. The special relationship, talk about the anti-porn. The money for 9/11 was all traced to the House of Windsor. Look it up. Too big to jail. It's such a scam. They were funding it. It was no new idea. Muhammad Ali and those brilliant kids cooked it up in the dorm room. They hated fuck America. Well, I wonder why they hate America. See, America took over their country. Step out of line, they kill you in Saudi Arabia. They colonialize fucking Saudi Arabia to make a bunch of douchebags. I mean, he drives around in the Batmobile for real. Go to Churchill Downs and look at the freaking, he has his own private airstrip and, you know, his racehorses and just burn through money. You know, of course, get this, he was smart enough, the prince is smart enough. You know who the major shareholder in freaking Apple is? Oh, yeah. You know what he paid for his Apple stock? I think he paid $18 a share, maybe 22. Worth over 800, and you think a little bit, he owns fucking millions of shares, many millions of shares. So he's getting richer. He made a good call there. Your money's important, and these guys all lost you. My Fox News, Max Kaiser, Oxygen has destroyed you. All these people all over YouTube, they're still still talking about the crash. The crash is coming. The crash happened. 2000, 2003. The dollar. I was in New York City when the euro went public. 75 cents from 2003, 2000, went to $1.60. It crashed, but how come you don't know that? Because you're too busy freaking kill the sand niggers, kill the sand niggers, kill the sand. That's what you were up to. America gone. Over. Hasta la vista, baby. Never coming back? Well, I don't know. There's no way to clean up nuclear fallout. And when we get the nuclear meltdown, which we're going to get in the United States, because they're old, they're tired, they're worn out, we have no political will to take care of it. We got waste stored on there that never belonged there, 40 years of it. When it happens to San Onofre, it happens to Albuquerque, it happens to don't run to me, motherfuckers. Don't run to me, because I told you it was going to happen in Japan for fucking decades, too. So did Lemonade. So did even that passing pussy piece of dog shit, fucking co-op piece of shit, Kevin. I would like to slug that fucker in the mouth, knock his hair, fucking spray off his head. Fuck these hair-sprayed rats. This will review who looted America, who fucking destroyed America. America's destroyed. It got destroyed between 2000 and present. Why? Cowards. We have nothing to fear but fear. Terrorists won. They won. That was their gig. And who are the real terrorists? Fox News, CNN, Anderson Vanderbilt, Wolf fucking Masada Blitzer, fucking CIA, the military fucking industrialized complex. Hasta la vista, baby. Gone. Didn't last very long. This experiment called America, the Ottoman Empire outlasted us by many freaking centuries. This empire did not. The empire's over. You think it's not, but it's over. Yeah, we got the big ugly military, but that's all you got. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about this Thursday. You're going to have to talk about your personal situation. Look in the mirror and handle yourself as a person. Fuck wrapping yourself in the flag. Change yourself personally. Survive cancer. Because you're all going to get it. Stay tuned. Let's fight. At a personal level, let's protect our children, let's protect our family members, let's protect ourselves, not with a gun, with our minds. Stand tuned.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twin Gate, 311, whatever you want to call it.